for the RWBYs.
And the voice of Jaune.
Is this following the vision of the late Monty?
Oh, yes. Monty, Carrie, and myself worked very closely together in the early days. We wrote together, the show Bible and planned out almost pretty much the entire series. So, it's, obviously it was very sad when we lost Monty. He was a dear friend of ours. But we spent so many nights together over like pancakes at IHOP at 2 in the morning, figuring out where we wanted to go and where we wanted our characters to go and how we want them to grow. So fortunately, we do have this roadmap and we do have the story of RWBY laid out before us, and we're very excited to tell it and hope people are excited to watch.
We are, yes. And will there be a live action?
That's certainly not up to myself or Carrie, our director. We work in animation for a reason, and that's because we love it. Not every live action adaptation of anime goes over great. Attack on Titan was pretty rough. I don't know. I think anything is possible. I certainly never imagined the show would have ever gotten this big, so I don't want to discount the possibility of a live action movie. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. The RWBY, is it filmed in-house or is actually outsourced?
It has been done pretty much entirely in-house. We're very proud that we have a small yet very strong team of animators that work night and day to make the absolute best show that they can. There's nothing better than being able to look at a shot and walk right over to the person sitting at their desk and say, hey man, here's how we need to change this, here's how we need to make it work. We do have outside contractors that work with us for art and set design and things like that, but the bulk of the animation is all still done at Rooster Teeth in-house.
So we have a question for the Yang voice actor. So how did you get into the character when you're acting for Yang?
Yang is kind of very similar to me as a person, so I don't really have to do a whole lot to get into character, which I know is kind of like whatever, but I just kind of get in the mindset of what Yang's going through and try to put myself in her position, and then warm myself up by bouncing around a lot and getting the energy up, and then it's really easy to just get right into her.
Aren't you a little young to be in this club, Blondie?
Aren't you a little old to have a name like Junior?
That must be really depressing when she lost her arm.
Yeah, that was definitely a challenge for me, just because most of Yang's character is very happy and very bubbly and energetic, and so when that happened to her, it was a complete shift in her character. But it was a good challenge, and I was really happy to be able to do it.
The fight scenes are really intense. That's what I really loved about the series. Like, what gave you the inspiration to make these fight scenes?
Well, I think it comes as no surprise that Monty's passion for fight choreography and action and camera work was really, it breathed so much life into RWBY from the very first Red trailer that we put out. And, we loved his work, we were inspired by his work, and we do our best every day to try and just have as much fun as he did creating these action scenes. We look at the characters, we look at their weapons, we look at the environment and say, how can we make something absolutely nuts? Anytime an animator gets assigned to a fight, it's a strange combination of excitement and terror, because they know that all eyes will be on them. So I can tell you that every single one of our animators is always honored whenever they're given the chance to work on a fight, because that's their time to shine, their time to really flex their animation muscles. And I think they've done an extraordinary job, and everybody just wants to do the best that they can. That's all we can try to do,
You guys know about the Preya die after the series, and what do you think about the Preya petition to bring her back?
We get as much joy seeing fans laugh at Team RWBY eating noodles, and we get the same amount of satisfaction from seeing people mourn over the loss of a character, because loss and hardship is something that's a part of everyday life, and to ignore something like that, I think, would be a little silly. So we want there to be consequences. We want there to be risk and stakes, because if RWBY went out into every fight and we always knew that she would be perfectly fine, it would probably get a little dull to watch after a while. So it was really sad that we lost Pyrrha, and it was bittersweet, but we still love her character, and we love her to death. Oh, phrasing.
Literally.
Season 4, she's all depressed and everything. How did it really transform you to do this, prepare for this role?
I actually knew what was going to happen to Yang a long time ago, so I've had time to really prepare myself mentally and also practice, the lines for the season and everything she's going to be going through. So I'm hoping that it turns out very well.
It's going to be a much darker storyline, I know that, but are we going to experience any more loss? Should we prepare for this?
I wouldn't say that season 4 is necessarily a darker show, but it is now a show that exists in a world that we understand has the potential to be dark. We don't want RWBY to be a very downtrodden gloom and doom show, or we don't want it to be like Attack on Titan where anybody could die in the instant. But we did want people to know that, hey, bad things can happen, and now you know just how bad can get. So think of the loss of characters as just another color on your painter's palette, or another tool that you can use. It's just a new ingredient that we can add to it. So we'll still have moments of joy and laughter and teasing and all sorts of comedy. But now there is the real danger out in the world, and people can be prepared for great times and not so great times.
Any funny stories behind the scenes with voice acting or anything you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, we all have tons of fun recording with these guys and just doing RWBY in general, getting to travel together and go to shows and meet fans. But in terms of funny stuff behind the scenes, a lot of the times we'll swear if we want to get into character to like really hit a line home. So there's tons of takes of us cursing and saying all these like really crazy things trying to get the line right. So that'll probably never see the light of day, but it exists.
So since the story was going really deep, how many seasons you think it will be for RWBY?
Well, we don't want to give an exact number because, something that we've found is sometimes it takes more time to tell the story than we had originally anticipated. So sometimes scripts will end up longer or shorter. But I can tell you that we still have quite a ways to go, and hopefully we're just getting started.
Sweet. What do you guys do like in your free time? Do you guys go party together? Anything special?
Yes, we go off.
Yeah, we're all friends too at the company, so we like to hang out and go see movies, go drinking, go eat together. But a lot of people work really hard and really for a long time, so it's hard to have a social life all the time, but we do our best.
A lot of my free time is spent watching anime and playing video games, and then occasionally like going out and socializing. But I'm a big gamer. I play a lot of games.
We heard about the comic book is coming out. So is the comic book story gonna stick with the same thing with the anime, or is it gonna be a little bit different?
So the manga that's currently being done with Shonen Jump is, we like to say it's canon until it's not. Currently, the story takes place between volumes 1 and 2. The creators really wanted to tell a story about Team RWBY. However, that's kind of difficult because Team RWBY has only been together for so long, and now in the show they've split apart. So we don't want to be limiting to these creators in any way, but it is kind of hard sometimes when they come to us and say, hey, we want to tell this story. We'll say that doesn't really work given the time frame and the characters in the canon. So we're doing our best to work with them despite language barriers, which provide for some sometimes difficult and sometimes hilarious miscommunication. But we're all working together to try and make a really fun story that people can enjoy, and hopefully will remain canon. And someone I think they've done a great job. It's been a wonderful experience.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye.